Finally, I want to return to where I started. I mentioned that the consequence of whether we win the fight against crime and drugs falls most heavily on the poorest and most vulnerable Texans. And at the court, we see this most vividly in cases where the state is attempting to terminate the legal bond between a parent and a child. In nearly all of these cases, families have been damaged or destroyed by drugs, often methamphetamine. If there's one thing you could do to help these families, it would be to help law enforcement win the war on hard drugs like meth. But innocent children are always victims in these cases. And it's tempting when we see these children in these desperate circumstances to want them removed quickly from their failing parents for their protection. But we have to remember this. Just as surely as God made those precious children, God made that family. Using the coercive power of the state to take children from their God-given parents, to destroy a family, should never be our first instinct. It should always be our very last resort. I want to thank the legislature for the work it's done in recent sessions to require DFPS to keep more families together. Senator Kolkhorst and Representative Dutton and others have been leaders on this, and I urge you to continue those efforts this session. And if you'll allow me, I want to make one suggestion, speaking purely for myself, which is all any of this is, of course. Look at repealing subsection O. We call it subsection O. It's chapter 161.001B10 of the Family Code. And it allows a parent's rights to be terminated forever if the parent fails to check every box on a long list of things the state wants them to do to get their child back. But the thing is, there's another provision right next to it in the code that allows termination of rights if the parent endangers the child. So the state only needs to use subsection O if it can't prove that the parent has endangered the child. But if the state can't prove that, then why on earth would we destroy that family? Termination of parental rights is the civil death penalty. When the state goes to court to take somebody's children, it's not opening up a collaborative therapy session. It's initiating adversarial litigation of the highest stakes imaginable. And we need to do more to ensure that the desperate parents in these cases have vigorous legal representation, and we need to make sure that our family code is not stacking the deck against the parents before the cases even begin. Repealing subsection O would be a good start. Representative Dutton has a bill that would do that, and many other things, and I commend his bill for your consideration.